Sad news today as we have to report Dan Rivera passed away. People speculate it's due to the Annabelle doll, but I may have a theory.
Rivera, a Connecticut paranormal investigator and one of the main handlers of the famous Annabelle doll, died suddenly over the weekend.
Now, you see him taking Annabelle out the box when they say, do not touch this goddamn doll.
That's according to the New England Society for Psychic Research. Rivera was a Connecticut native and was on tour with the doll, made famous by the Conjuring movie series. Annabelle is an endless source of fascination on social media because of the haunting stories that surround the doll. Now, at this time, it's not clear how Rivera died. The organization said they're heartbroken by his loss and that Dan truly believed in sharing his experiences and educating people about the paranormal.
Now, The Conjuring is one of the only movies that actually scare me in real life. I don't play with any of that witchcraft or worshiping the devil or anything like that. But paranormal investigator, he did die unexpectedly while hosting the Devils on the Run tour in Gettysburg, which featured the real Annabelle doll. Now, it's so many stories linked to this Annabelle doll, from it being in New Orleans the night the inmates escaped to it being in close proximity of the plantation that burnt down. And now you have him, the handler, handle it dying unexpectedly. Now, I understand there may be some supernatural theories at play, but scientifically, it's likely going to be due to cardiac arrest. So here is him talking about the doll.
Today, it didn't cause the flood either. All right, listen, guys, I want you guys to have a good time, all right? You're going to be protected in there. There's things that we've done to make sure that you're protected. I want you guys to take some good pictures in there, all right? Wade's going to talk a little bit about spiritual protection, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the case once we get in there, all right? But I want to get you in there this way we can get all that out, and you guys can have a good time taking pictures, all right? Let's go.
Now, this is greed right here. This is the result of greed, as the person overseeing all these supernatural artifacts and said, hey, let's go on tour and put people in a room with everything we believe is possessed by the devil or a demon.
Nothing happened today. So, what Lorraine will say to protect yourself is close your eyes and envision yourself in a halo of white light. They call that the Christ light. That's your protection, all right? Even though if you don't believe, in the faith, right? Just close your eyes and still envision yourself in that white light. All right. In this case, when they built it, there was 3 crosses on there that represents the Trinity: Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Infused in the stain is holy water.
Hell no. But his death has sparked literally international coverage, as they're even talking about it on Law and Crime.
We got more work to do. Again.
A well-known paranormal investigator died just hours after leading a sold-out event featuring one of the most infamous haunted objects in the world, the Annabelle doll. It happened in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And while officials say there's no foul play, the timing has reignited a lot of dark speculation. We're going to break down what we know and what we don't know right now. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Chilling, so strange, so mysterious. We have to talk about it. We have to cover it. We often say some of the stories that we cover feel like they come straight out of a horror movie. This one, it is kind of like a horror movie. It ended in tragedy.
I think it's maybe sheer coincidence than a horror movie, like he was the only death.
What was supposed to be a sold-out 3-day paranormal event in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, took a very dark and unexpected turn.
Now, if you don't know anything about Gettysburg, I guess it is one of the most haunted cities in America, so there's that.
Dan Rivera, a 54-year-old U.S. Army veteran and well-known paranormal investigator, died suddenly, out of nowhere, on the evening of July 13th, just hours after concluding his Devils on the Run tour, which featured none other than the infamous, allegedly demon-possessed Annabelle doll. Now, if you've seen any of the Conjuring films or the 2014 movie Annabelle, you already know just how unsettling this doll's reputation is. Over the years, it's been tied to countless eerie and inexplicable incidents, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. But what makes Rivera's death especially disturbing is just how sudden and strangely timed it was. According to Adams County dispatch logs,
I think he actually had what they call the Widowmaker. It is a heart attack out of nowhere. And they call it the Widowmaker because it's a killer. Because you're going to experience it when no one's around. Widowmaker heart attack. I'll put it up in here. For you guys. I think that's what he experienced. I honestly don't know for sure. Widowmaker heart attack is a slang term for a STEMI, ST segment elevation mitochondrial infraction involving a complete or near complete blockage of the left anterior descending artery. This artery supplies a large portion of the heart muscle, and its blockage can be particularly dangerous, leading to significant heart damage and even cardiac arrest. That's usually the case when you see people die suddenly. It's either heart attack and or aneurysm. And I see the chat froze. Give me a second to bring it back. But we can continue this video real quick.
Emergency responders were called to a hotel in Gettysburg at around 8 p.m. on Sunday, July 13th, after someone reported CPR being performed on a man matching Rivera's description. And despite attempts to revive him, Rivera was pronounced dead shortly after. The Adams County Coroner's Office has confirmed that the death is not being treated as suspicious, though the exact cause remains pending, as autopsy results could take 60 to 90 days. But Rivera was the lead investigator for the New England Society for Psychic Research. It's called NESPR. And by the way, this is the same organization that was founded by legendary ghost hunters Ed and Lorraine Warren.
They are the people who did The Conjuring.
He had just wrapped a 3-day showcase of the Annabelle doll at the historic Soldiers National Orphanage in Gettysburg, hosted by Ghostly Images of Gettysburg Tours. Now, the event was a hit. It drew massive crowds. Over 1,260 tickets were sold to see Annabelle and other haunted relics from the Warrens Occult Museum.
Bro, you cannot pay me to be in a museum with shit that people think killed people. That's just never where I'm going to be at.
But according to the Evening Sun, Rivera took precautions to safely display the doll, building a protective case around it, encasing it, by the way, with 3 crosses and vials of holy water. Here's, by the way, how the official tour description put it. Quote, "The Devils on the Run tour is a chilling experience that brings the tales of famed ghost hunters Ed and Lorraine Warren's investigations to life. This tour offers a chance to delve deep into some of the darkest aspects of paranormal activity, including the entities and haunted objects the Warrens encountered during their decades-long career. One of the tour's key highlights is the infamous Annabelle doll, which, despite its seemingly innocent appearance, has been the cause of numerous terrifying incidents. The doll has reportedly brought misfortune, injury, and even death to those who have interacted with it improperly. The Devils on the Run tour takes participants to some of the most haunted places in America, and as part of its special events, it will feature locations like the haunted historic Soldiers Orphanage homestead in Gettysburg, where the spirits of the past still linger, specifically for this event. In one TikTok video, Rivera himself excitedly announced that he was traveling with Annabelle to the historic town.
Annabelle's leaving San Antonio, guys. Now we're heading to Gettysburg. See you there.
You can also see video of the doll's arrival at the Gettysburg site posted by the Annabelle tour account.
Dust, would you pay to go see this doll? Would you be in the room with it? Like, I really want to know. Hey, put a 1 in the chat if you like, yeah, I'll be in the room with the doll. Put 2 if not. Me, I'm not. There's no way in hell. No way in hell. No way in hell.
There's another clip that shows behind-the-scenes moments from the event. And according to the Evening Sun, Rivera joked with attendees during the event, downplaying the doll's infamy, even referencing bizarre online theories connecting Annabelle to a prison break or a phone outage or a plantation fire. But behind the humor was a man who dedicated his life to the paranormal. A native of Bridgeport, Connecticut, Rivera spent more than a decade investigating the supernatural, having been mentored by the late Lorraine Warren.
Infilter is not a believer, dog. I'm a believer, man. I'm a believer.
Half of the legendary duo behind the Amityville horror investigation, the real-life Annabelle case. And his passion extended to television as well, with appearances on the Travel Channel's Most Haunted Places, a production role on Netflix's 28 Days Haunted. Rivera was also a pioneer in using social media to bring. Ryan Buell racked up millions, leveraged TikTok to promote the tour,
All right, Ryan Buell has entered the chat.
helping it reach a massive audience. His videos, which were often created alongside fellow investigator Ryan Buell, racked up millions of views, and it stirred both fascination and fear as Annabelle made her way across the country.
Hey Ryan, we got more work to do. Again.
More money to collect. More money to collect.
Fascination and fear as Annabelle made her way across the country.
Hey Ryan, we got more work to do. Again.
You got it. Get the car fired up. I'll get the guys ready.
Now, NESPR confirmed Rivera's death in just a heartbreaking Facebook post, calling him, quote, a kind, passionate educator who dedicated his life to paranormal research. The message reads, with heavy hearts, we share the sudden and heartbreaking loss of our dear friend and colleague, Dan Rivera. The New England Society for Psychic Research is devastated by his passing and is still coming to terms with the profound loss.
Who's going to replace him, and how long do you think they'll be out before they're on tour? Now, I don't think, is there anything else in here? Does life really end? I've asked myself that question today. My answer was, in life, we leave a piece of ourselves with loved ones and friends on our journey through life until there are no more pieces to give away. You would think that this is the end, but when you look back at all the pieces you gave away, those pieces will always be remembered. So say, I will never die alone. My journey has only begun. Jesus Christ. I don't know about that. What's this? What are you saying?
Memories with this guy. Just as recently as 2 months ago, we traveled around the country and introduced a whole new generation to Ed and Lorraine Warren's legacy.
This is Ryan Buell's statement. Dan cared for Lorraine towards the end of her life and devoted his time passionately to keeping Ed and Lorraine's legacy alive. He was a loving father, husband, and loyal, caring friend. When I got clean and entered recovery, I decided to show my face again. Hardly anyone wanted anything to do with me, but Dan believed in me. He wanted me to come back home, to return to being part of NESPRR, the Warrens family. He believed in me, so I struggled to believe in myself, that who he was. And what many of you may not know is privately, he and NSPR help families who are haunted, just as Ed and Lorraine. Okay? I mean, I don't know, man. This is one of the many things I loved about Dan is that he was a dreamer, a big, bold, sometimes ballsy ideas. I love that I got to play a small role in that vision. And just as I mourn him, I'm also mourning his unfinished. There we go. There we go. Hey, the tour is going to be back on. I mourned his unfinished dreams and ideas for the future. To his wife, Sarah, and amazing children. Damn, he had kids. To Chris, Wade, Tony, and Judy, my heart goes out to all of you. Will any proceeds go to him moving forward? Dan touched so many lives that we are honored that we got to be a part of the family. I can't believe my final phone call with you and my final moment with you here on this earth. I'll cherish every minute of it. I mean, what is this? Annabelle. A student nurse is given a Raggedy Ann doll as a gift, and she brings it home where she lives with her roommate. I saw this movie. Almost immediately, roommates noticed strange occurrences with the doll, and they were introduced to a medium who told them the doll was inhabited by a spirit of a young girl named Annabelle. Two roommates tried to accept the doll's spirit and please it, only to have it reciprocate maliciousness and violent intent. This was when Ed and Lorraine Warren were called and pronounced the doll demonically possessed. They removed the doll from the house and encased it in a glass box to contain the evil spirit entity. Eeh. I mean, they show pictures, but this, guys, just don't do this shit, man. It's easy for me to say, hey, don't play with the occult. But Dust believes it's real. I believe it's real. And unfortunately, hey, Ninja's got to learn the hard way. RIP to Dan. Sucks for his family, but the monetary side of it, based on Ryan's farewell, looks like it's going to keep going. I can only imagine if his people are going to get a piece of it or not. But let me know in the comments section what you think, and I'll see you next video. Peace.